Just quickly, we're going to go over the UDK Unreal Development Kit interface here. As you see, I already have it open. You can download the UDK if you don't already have it from the Epic website. It's the full Unreal Engine 3 tool set that they provide free to download. You know, it's a great opportunity and tool for you to get in there and experiment and try some of your ideas out, whether it's prototyping something out or creating a mod, as well as you get a feel for the full kind of development environment that major game studios are using pretty much across the board. Many of the top games that are coming out are coming out on Unreal Engine, as most of you are probably familiar with, and this is virtually the same, if not the same, tool set that those companies are developing those games with. So it's a really great opportunity. All right, so what we're going to do, though, is be spending most of our time in Visual Studio because we're going to be covering UnrealScript, which is the scripting system, or I guess you could say high-level programming language that Unreal Engine provides. Unreal Engine has the base level, game code and editor code, and then they have UnrealScript, which kind of sits on top of that. And then on top of that is the Unreal Kismet, which is kind of the game scripting or really high-level scripting that happens. And that is something we've covered in another DVD, the Intro to Kismet. And so now we're digging a little bit deeper and going into UnrealScript, which is a lot more like coding or programming in C++, but it has some differences and some major differences, especially when it comes to compiling and being able to iterate on the stuff that you're working on and new stuff that you're creating. So we're going to be going over how to set up a project in Visual Studio to start to make some changes. We're going to cover the basics as far as the different variable types and kind of syntax of UnrealScript, as well as how to define your own functions, classes, and all of the good stuff that you're wanting to know. So let's go ahead and get into that now. One of the tools that we're going to introduce you to help out in your work with UnrealScript is the Nfringe IDE by a company called Pixelmind. This works in Visual Studio, and it provides you both a high-level text editor for UnrealScript that gives you syntax highlighting as well as IntelliSense features to help out with auto-completion, and also a source-level script debugger for UnrealScript, which is very helpful if you're working on a large project or really kind of getting into the low-level stuff. If you're working through something complex, then script debugging is very helpful in the Unreal environment. We're not really going to be doing too much of that for the purposes of this video, but I still wanted to show you the tool, how to get it set up, and we'll go ahead and work in that environment throughout the video. So you can jump on over, this is the Pixelmind page. You can get all of the information you need about installing it from the wiki page that they have, which is this page here. It's going to give you an overview installation. We're not going to cover all of the installation stuff as they've got plenty of good documentation here to get you started. So what we're going to do is going to go ahead and jump into Visual Studio now with Pixelmind's Nfringe already installed, and then we'll show you how to set up your project using the Nfringe tool. Okay, so here we are in Visual Studio now. We've already installed the Nfringe IDE from Pixelmind. So now we're going to set up our UnrealScript project. If you go to File, New Project, you'll see that the project type defaults to UnrealScript, which is what we want. We're going to use the Unreal Engine 3 licensee project template. Go ahead and name the project. You see we already have the location set to our UDK installation, which is the July version in this case, and the development and then source folder. It's really important that you set it up in this folder as a reference point, so if you're not already defaulted to that location, just browse to it here. Make sure that Create Directory for Solution is unchecked for this, and go ahead and hit OK. Alright, so now we've got a basic solution set up for us, along with the reference source, which is provided automatically, which gives you the information for your IntelliSense and syntax highlighting. So right now this is just an empty solution though, and we need some extra information here. You can build off of this if you want to, but what we're going to do is actually close the solution down, move the solution file so that we pick up all of the existing UnrealScript files in the installation of the UDK. So what we're going to go ahead and do is close the solution. We're going to browse to the folder that we created the solution in Windows Explorer. So we're in Development Source here. You'll see that it's created an UnrealScript project for 8.3D. So I'm going to go in there. I'm going to grab these files and cut them. You'll notice that the .sco file is a hidden file. I've got my properties set to show hidden files. You may not, so you might want to unhide that, or it shouldn't be critical to grab that. So we're going to go ahead and cut these and go up one level back to the development source folder, and we're going to paste them in here. Alright, so now we're back over in Visual Studio. We're going to open the project solution that we created. We're going to go into the source folder, and there we go. So now you can see the solution is here, and it's outside or at the same level in Windows Explorer as the folder. So now if we open that solution, so now we're in a lot better shape. You can see over here we still have our Eat3D UnrealScript solution with the reference source folder, but now we've got a tree structure of all of the existing UnrealScript files that exist with the UDK installation. So this is going to be really good for both reference and for building off of. So now we're going to go ahead and set up a few of the properties on the solution and the project to make sure that everything compiles correctly when you start adding new script functions or new script files. Okay, the next thing we want to do is we want to set up a couple of things in the properties of the solution that we've created. So we're going to right click on the solution, select Properties. Under the General tab, we want to leave the target game as Unreal Engine 3 licensee. And for the UCC path, we're going to set that to, you'll see we're in the UDK installation folder. We're going to select Binaries, Win32, and go ahead and grab the UDK exe. And then we're going to save that. And you also see under the Debug tab, we're going to set the Start Game executable to the same thing. So it's already remembered the directory we're in. So we're in UDK, Binaries, Win32, and select the UDK exe. And it's not a requirement, but it's helpful to set a couple of flags here. One is Disable Startup Movies, and also Force Windowed Mode, just for debugging. That way you don't have the game taken over into full screen, which is hard when you're bouncing out of that to actually do the debugging. If you hit a breakpoint or something, switching from full screen to back to windowed mode is sometimes very slow on video cards. It can also cause crashes sometimes, so this is just the best way to go. Alright, so we're going to save that again with those settings and close the project properties.